As we continue in our verses in John chapter 1, verse 35, it says this: "The next day, John again was standing with two of his disciples. And as he watched Jesus walk, he exclaimed, 'Look, here is the Lamb of God.' The two disciples heard him say this, and they followed Jesus. When Jesus turned and saw them following, he said to them, 'What are you looking for?'" I love this. Now here's Jesus, here's these disciples. And after the prologue, after John writes about who the person of Jesus is, Messiah, the anointed one, his first words to his new disciples was, "What are you looking for?" When Jesus turned, he saw them following and said, "What are you looking for?" And let me share a little bit about this phrase, "What are you looking for?" The word "to look" is this Greek word Zeteo, to look. And in this present active, in the way that this word is, it's an ongoing longing for something. It's not just this casual, "Hey, are you lost? What are you looking for?" Like, what's going on? The word Zeteo refers to this deep intrinsic search for something. In other words, Jesus isn't just saying, hey guys, what are you looking for? Jesus is saying, what do you want your life to be about? What is it do you want in life? Not just this casual, hey, what do you want? It's what do you want to be about? New Testament scholar Raymond Brown from the Anchor Commentary says this, and I love his words. The first words spoken by Jesus in the gospel are, "What do you seek?" or "What are you looking for" in our translation. This is not, he says, this is not simply a polite inquiry, but a serious question. What are you looking for in life? The verb "to seek" will often be used in John with overtones that expresses a person's fundamental orientation, whether it be towards God and life or towards self and darkness. And so when the gospel writer John uses the word Zeteo, to seek, it's oftentimes, if not every time, used in one of two ways. Are you seeking God? Are you seeking to follow Jesus? Or are you seeking to follow darkness? That's it. Those are the two ways that the gospel writer writes the word Zeteo. So again, it's not just this casual, "Hey, what are you looking for?" The question that Jesus is asking, and I believe that Jesus is asking many of us in this room today, what are you looking for? What do you want your life to be about? And many of us, we struggle to answer that question, Christian or not Christian. Many of us, we have answers to that question, and it's not Jesus. And my question to you back is, has that been working? How has that been working? And the reality is, it probably hasn't been working that well. I know this firsthand. And what's even more interesting is that this dialogue that Jesus has with his disciples, Jesus says, "Well, what are you looking for? What do you want in life?" And his disciples, their response is, "Where are you staying?" And so when we read this, it sounds like Jesus is asking a question, and their response to Jesus is another question. But a deeper look into this, it's not a deeper question. It's actually not a question at all. It's a proclamation. Because when Jesus says, "What are you looking for? Who do you want to be? What do you want to be about?" They're asking, well, wherever you go, I'm going to follow you. The response they're saying when they say, "Where are you staying?" is an indication saying that Jesus, here's what I'm about. Wherever you go, I'm going to go with you. I want to go with you. Wherever you're staying, I want to stay with you. And the word "stay" in the original language, I like to talk about the original language a lot because it gives us a better understanding of what may have been happening in that context. And so the original word for "where are you staying" is the word Meno. Meno means to stay. But again, just like the word "to look," Zeteo, it means bigger than where are you sitting down or where are you hanging out for the day. It has this intrinsic value of to remain somewhere, To abide. Abide is another way that the word Meno is used throughout the New Testament, the word abide. And so when Jesus says, what do you want your life to be about? The disciples say, I want it to be about you. I want to abide in you. Wherever you go, I want to follow. The disciples are saying, I know that there's a lot going on right now. The Roman Emperor Domitian is forcing me or wanting me to bow down to him as God. I don't want to do that. The Jewish leaders are telling me that I'm wrong about my understanding of you, Jesus. There's infighting, there's division, there's chaos inside the church. As a matter of fact, I'm being kicked out of the synagogues, a place that I would spend my entire life at. And yet here I am. But in the midst of all of that, what I'm saying is, Jesus, I want my life to be about you and you alone. That's it. And I love that response to Jesus' question. It was very simple. Their response is, I want to abide in you and nothing else matters. I want to meno. I want to remain. I want to be with you for the rest of my life. And so then Jesus welcomes that, and Jesus says, well, come and see where I'm going. Come with me. Follow. And you see, most scholars, I don't know if you read this, but most scholars believe that there was the timestamp you would see in verse 30-something. It says that at that time was 4 p.m. in the afternoon. It sounds random, like 4 p.m. Why'd you just say that? And many scholars believe that timestamp was there because that was the moment their life changed forever. The moment they said yes to Jesus, I will follow you for the rest of my life. That was the moment their life changed forever, 4 p.m. on that day. And then as we go and we enter into our verses, I'm going to go through this a little bit quickly, but I love the domino effect of God's love throughout all his disciples. Between verses 40 and 45, everybody is constantly, again, pointing to Jesus. First is John the Baptist. He had every reason to say it's all about me. He even had his own disciples, and yet when people asked him, are you the Messiah, are you the anointed one, John the Baptist says, it's not me. It's actually Jesus. I'm just here to prepare the way. And then we saw that Andrew, a former disciple of John the Baptist, he comes to Jesus. And he follows Jesus. And then Andrew, he brings in his own brother, Simon Peter, who later would become Cephas. And then Peter believes. And then Jesus finds a man named Philip, and he says to Philip, come and follow me. And Philip does. And then Philip brings his friend Nathanael. And I love when we all read this, Nathanael's response was, Jesus from Nazareth? What good can come from Nazareth? Because Nazareth was this very insignificant town and a shock to where a Messiah would come from. Because it was thought that the Messiah would come from Bethlehem or maybe even Jerusalem, coming in a stallion or a horse or something, a political figure, a warrior. And yet, you're telling me a Messiah is going to come from Nazareth? And the answer is yes. And he ended up believing. And all these people that ended up following Jesus, again, it was never about them. It was, I want to take you to Jesus. I want to show you Jesus. Hey, come with me. I want to take you to Jesus. And it was that kind of solidarity that they have with one another. It was never about them. It was the one who they pointed to. And because they were all pointing to the same person, they were united in significant ways.